Here's a little short and sweet one from Zero Hedge. When does a home become a prison? I thought to myself, well, wonder what they're going to talk about here, being that I'm buying a house right now. It's kind of expensive, more house than I've ever had in my life. I know this. I study these videos. I study the articles I read. Believe me, I know housing at a high again. But when you find the right house, does that stuff really matter? If you realize we are going to absolutely spend the rest of our lives in this house, this is the one, right? Does it matter at that point? And you might argue, well, yeah, kind of. Why didn't you just wait? Because the house might not be available if we wait. Sure, I could find another nice house. But you know what I mean? Like when you find the one. So when does a home become a prison? Let's see how this sits with old Jason M4, knowing that I'm moving and I'm buying during a time where house prices are kind of high. Authored by Mark Fleming via First American Economic Center blog. The housing market is suffering from a supply shortage, not a demand dilemma. As millennial first-time homebuyer demand continues to increase, the inventory of homes for sale tightens. Millennial first-time homebuyer demand is increasing? An inventory of homes for sale is tightening? Mark Fleming, step into my office, please. We're going to have a little discussion. Anyways, let me go ahead and read what he has to say. At the same time, prices are also increasing, so why aren't there more homeowners selling their homes? In most markets, the seller or supplier makes their decision about adding supply to the market independent of the buyer or source of demand and their decision to buy. In the housing market, the seller and buyer are, in many cases, actually the same economic actor. In order to buy a new home, you have to sell the home you're already in or the one you already own. So in a market with rising prices and strong demand, what's preventing existing homeowners from putting their homes on the market? Existing homeowners are increasingly financially imprisoned in their own home by their historically low mortgage rate. It makes choosing a kitchen renovation seem more appealing than moving. Well, I don't know if he's going to discuss this, but I want to add one. You live in a house, mortgage, as in you own it, you're not paying rent. You don't own it outright, obviously, but you have a mortgage. And you are the one who either A, bought during the last crisis and got in at, super low interest rate, or you refinanced your house at the same time, the same house you've been in, for a super low rate. Like he said, now why would I want to get out and pay a little bit higher rate? I don't want to do that. However, house prices have gone up quite a bit. So you might say, being the homeowner, if I get out of the house right now, boy, we could take a nice profit. But to get another house that we would like to get into, the profit we have will be a down payment on the new house. And after we pay that high fee for the house, we're left with pretty much the same mortgage we have now. So we gain nothing. And why would we want to move in the first place then? Right? Doesn't make sense. And then we have new mortgage, new closing costs, and, realtor fees and all that stuff. Do we really want that? Or should we just stay put with our low interest rate mortgage? Right? It'd be something that'd be a good reason to not want to move. That's just a little, thing that I'm thinking about. The housing market has experienced a long-run decline in mortgage rates from a high of 18% for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage in 1981 to a low of almost 3% in 2012. Today, 5 years later, mortgage rates remain just a stone's throw away from the historic low point. The long-run decline in rates encouraged existing homeowners to both move more often and to refinance more often, in many cases refinancing multiple times between each move. It's widely expected that mortgage rates will rise further. This is more important than we may even realize because the housing market has not experienced a rising rate environment in almost 3 decades. No longer is there a financial incentive to refinance for most homeowners, and there's more to consider when moving. Why move when it will cost more each month to borrow the same amount from the bank? A homeowner can re-extend the mortgage term another 30 years to increase the amount one can borrow at the higher rate, but the mortgage has to be paid off at some point, hopefully before or soon after retirement. Existing homeowners are increasingly financially imprisoned in their own homes by their historically low mortgage rate. It makes choosing a kitchen renovation seem more appealing than moving. There is one more possibility caused by the fact that the existing homeowner is both seller and buyer. Okay, so what I was just saying, I think that's where he's going next. In today's market, sellers face a prisoner's dilemma, a situation in which individuals don't cooperate with each other, even though it is seemingly in their best interest to do so. Consider two existing homeowners. They both want to buy a new house and move, but are unable to communicate with each other. If they both choose to sell, they both benefit because they increase the inventory of homes available and collectively alleviate the supply shortage. Which again, supply shortage. May I open Zillow for you real quick? Yeah, sure, Jason. Go right ahead. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you. Tampa, Florida. Interesting. This is 3 beds, up to 600K. Houses, apartments, condos, townhomes. Uh, 2+ acres or greater? No, sir. We're going to see anything. Now, tell me about that supply shortage again. There's 12 right here in this one dot. 5 over here, 7 over here, 2 over here, 9+ over here. And let me just show you what happens when I start to zoom in. Did you see that? These are all homes for sale. So I just, OJ Step Forward's got to keep it real. I mean, everywhere you go, there are more houses out here for sale than you could shake a stick at, much less lick it. So now that that's out of the way, Mark Fleming, dude. Anyways, if they both choose to sell, they both benefit because they increase the inventory of homes available and collectively alleviate the supply shortage. Okay. However, if one chooses to sell and the other doesn't, the seller must buy a new home in a market with a shortage of supply, bidding wars, and escalating prices. Because of this, neither homeowner sells, non-cooperation, and neither gets what they wanted in the first place, a move to a new, more desirable home. Imagine this scenario playing out across the entire market. If everyone sells, there will be plenty of supply, but the risk of selling when others don't convinces everyone not to sell and produces the non-cooperative outcome. Possible outcomes. Number 1, owner moves but pays a price escalated by supply shortages for a more desirable home. Number 2, owner stays in current house and does not get a more desirable home. Number 3, owner moves, finding a more desirable home without paying a price escalated by supply shortages. Rising mortgage rates and the fear of not being able to find something affordable to buy is imprisoning homeowners and causing the inventory shortages that are seen in practically every market across the country. Again, market shortages on what planet? So what gives in a market short of supply relative to demand? Prices. According to the first American Real House Price Index, the fast pace of house price growth combined with rising rates has had a material impact on affordability. In our most recent analysis in April, affordability was down 11% compared to a year ago. Now, I totally agree with that. It was once said that a man's home is his castle. In today's market, a man's home may be his prison, but he's getting wealthier for it. So says them. So yeah, I got a problem. There's plenty of supply. There is plenty of supply. But I was talking to a realtor a while back. There was this one house I think I may have mentioned this story, but I'll tell you again. I got a bunch of new subscribers by the last time I told the story. Not that it was a big story, but pretty nice house. It had like almost an acre of land, and it was in a development where there's a neighborhood and all this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty nice looking house. Got a pool in the backyard too, and a nice big rectangle yard. Like, man, oh, that's cool. I could put up a, little spot for my YouTube videos, a little shed or something out back with an air conditioner. I'm like thinking all these things. Oh, it's only $330,000. Oh, that's not bad. Let me inquire about it. Just, oh yeah, the inside needs a ton of work. It needs probably at least $60,000-$70,000 of work on the inside. That's why it's so low. Oh, okay. So we started chatting a little bit, and I'm like, "Is that an HOA?" She goes, "Yeah, it's also HOA." I was like, "Oh, I didn't say on the listing it was HOA." I was like, I'm trying not to. I really don't want to get into HOA. I'm in one now, even though I'm renting, and I just, gosh. She goes, "Well, let me tell you something. The sheer number of homes in an HOA, she's like, if you look online, or even if I were your realtor and I were to send you listings or whatever, and you give me the criteria, I could put up a whole map full of homes for sale. All different areas around here that meet the criteria you're looking for. When you say, I don't want to be in an HOA, that number shrinks massively. Very few homes are for sale all of a sudden." I'm like, okay, that's interesting to know. But did I tell you my house that we're going to get is not in an HOA? I have no fees. Oh, the crack in your driveway. Some grass growing out of there. You got to get that. Get a letter. Oh, those 2 single pieces of grass that are sticking. I'll get right on that. I don't want to get hit with a $25 fine. You're gonna fine me for living in my own house, which I realize it's renting, but if I did own this house, it would not change. And once you're there, good luck getting out of an HOA. You can't say, well, I don't want to be part of the HOA. No. When you buy in that house, and if there's an HOA, you cannot get out of it. Not unless the whole area decides we're dissolving the HOA, and even then it's not impossible, but damn it, it's close. Who the hell wants to deal with that? That's why I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get into this freaking house. Yeah, but it's high price. I don't care. I don't care. Get me the hell out of here. I'll be so much happier loving life. Put up my solar panels, and I got my little thing out in the back. I got all these ideas. I can't wait to get over there and get to work and not worry about someone leaving, sending me a note. Oh, the front part of your driveway, that there's one brick that's out of alignment. You're going to have to fix that. I almost feel like emailing the HOA, the company that handles it. The guy's name's Jerry. Jerry, we're leaving on such and such day. F off. By the way, my driveway's got a couple things wrong with it. F off. And last but not least, riff raff next door. F off. Take care.